Two of Cups and Handwriting, a Patreon-only extended reading. Here's a tarot reading. The Two of Cups is a very positive card. Whether you're starting a new romantic relationship, making new friends, or creating business partnerships, it signals togetherness and general compatibility. It can be called the attraction card, as it shows that you will draw people to you in a positive way. This is a time to work with others, to get together with others, whether socially or in business. Things are likely to go your way in any connections you are involved with. It indicates two minds and emotions working as one in harmony. And the handwriting reading. Combined with the tarot, the most obvious thing when one looks at your writing is the heavy, dark lines. This indicates that much pressure has been applied when writing. The more pressure applied to the paper when writing indicates the more pressure applied to the heart by feelings. In other words, heavy line writers take things very much to heart and tend to hang on to these feelings for a very long time. When the writing is as ultra heavy as in your writing, it means you will never completely let go of things that touch you emotionally. When you couple that with the Two of Cups tarot card, we have you creating new relationships of some kind, and no matter how long this lasts for the other person, you are unlikely to ever quite let go of the relationship. The tarot card says it's a positive relationship. It's to be hoped it stays that way for the sake of the depth of feeling that you will invest in it. And depth of feeling shows in the heaviness of the writing, and you can see this is very, very heavy writing. If one uses a Sharpie to make it look heavy, then that still counts because you're using the Sharpie because you like the look of the heavy writing. So heavy, dark writing means depth of feeling. The next trait we're looking at is independence, which is interesting considering the previous trait showed that you can't let go of things that affect you emotionally. So no matter how you're feeling, you will continue to go your own way and do your own thing and be very unlikely to lean on someone else. Your relationships, no matter how deeply they affect you, will not be allowed to tie you down. Independence shows in the personal pronoun I, the capital I, when used as the personal pronoun. If it's either just a stick, or as we see in this example, a straight stick with lines top and bottom, this means independence. You won't lean on anyone, you'll stand on your own 2 feet. And that's echoed by the trait of being a loner. No matter how many connections you make, no matter how emotionally tied to them you feel, you always need time on your own, to be free to do things alone. If your connections, partners and friends are aware of this early on in the relationship, it could well not be a problem. But if someone's expecting total togetherness, as in doing everything together, they're likely to be disappointed in your willingness to do so. The loner shows in lower extenders, that's letters that go below the baseline, which are just going down, they don't return. Now there are 2 in this writing that do return, the 2 J's, the J in just on the first line and the J in enjoyed on the second line. But these are closed, there's no loop showing, so that is very selective, very, very selective of who you're going to have anything to do with. And the other 3 lower extenders, the 2 Y's and the G in the last line, just go down and stay down. So basically this person goes it alone. Here we see what goals you set yourself, and it's an interesting mix. You dream wildly and enthusiastically about things you'll probably never actually bring to fruition, and in actual action, you set yourself very day-to-day type of goals. You may well achieve great things, but it will be from one step at a time type of progress rather than flying high and achieving things all in one go. The dreamer goals show where the blue arrow points to the T in talking on the last line, where the T bar is above the top of the T stem. It's not a capital, although it looks like that. The T bar in a lowercase t is above the stem flying in the air. That's dreamer. The other two T's in the first line show the T bar is at or below the height of the other lowercase letters. And that means you take one step at a time. You're not willing to look too far ahead. You just want to accomplish this before you go on to the next thing. So you dream, but in actual action, you take things carefully. However, in any relationship or partnership, you will be loyal, whatever loyalty means in any particular connection. You can be trusted not to let someone down or go behind their back. The other trait that also shows here in the same stroke is attention to detail. So in any relationship with you, one can expect details to be paid good attention to. Both these traits show in the I dot. Loyalty shows in a dot that is just a dot. It's not drawn in a circle, it's not jabbed, it's just a dot. So loyalty definitely shows in those two I dots. Attention to detail shows in how closely the I dot is placed in connection with the rest of the letter. Now we have one J and one I, but the dot on the J counts for the same as the dot on the I. They're pretty close to the top of the stem, so great attention to detail. A very interesting trait that is shown here is defiance of authority. It goes well with independence and the loner traits we found previously. It's another don't tie me down trait. I know what I want and I'm going after it, it says. So it would appear that although you're going to make new connections that will be positive and work for you, you still need a great deal of freedom to be who you want to be. Defiance of authority shows in a lowercase k, where it's drawn like a capital, so the right-hand part of the K goes as high as the left-hand part of the K. It doesn't matter what style it's written in, it's just the fact that the right-hand part goes as high as the left-hand part. That is defiance of authority. Advice from this reading is coming right up, but in the meantime I'd like to invite you to join me on Patreon for a weekly extended reading and many others that are already posted, plus discounts on all personal readings. You also get a 30% discount on Tarot and the 4 Zones of Handwriting video course. That's a savings of $50. Plus you'll find personality bingo and other unique to Patreon articles there. There are links below in the description box, or on a phone, click on the little grey arrow below the video. Advice. You're about to make new connections, whether they're for business or pleasure. They will be a positive experience for you. It would be good to be aware as you get to know this person or get to know them better if you already know them, of your own inclination or rather necessity of being independent and going your own way. Don't allow your emotional response to this new connection, which is likely to be deep, entice you into getting into something that ties you down too much, since you have a very strong need to do your own thing. This doesn't of course mean that you can't have close relationships. Just make sure that the other person is happy with your idea of a close relationship and doesn't expect you to give up your freedom and independence more than you can cope with.